Hello, and today's purpose of the day is I can multiply monomials and divide monomials. Please complete the following for a warm-up. Alexis charges $10 plus $4 per hour to babysit. Alexis needs at least $40 more to buy a television for which she is saving. Write an inequality for this situation. Well, Alexis gets 4 hours to babysit, so we could say that 4 times H is how much she gets per hour to babysit, plus just $10 for babysitting in the first place, and she wants to make at least $40 to buy a new television. The question we need to solve is, will she be able to get her television if she babysits for 5 hours? So if we plug in 5 for H, will that be enough to get her $40 for her television? Well, 20 plus 10 is only 30, so 30 is not greater than or equal to 40, so no. Let's review a summary of simplifying monomials. To simplify a monomial expression, write an equivalent expression in which each base appears exactly once. There are no powers of powers, and all fractions are in simplest forms. For example, if we have m to the fourth times m to the third, that gives us m to the seventh. And there are no powers of powers, so that could look like x to the third to the seventh, which simplifies as x to the 21st. And all fractions are in simplest form, so that could be like 4 over 7 would be a fraction in simplest form, but if we have 10 over 5, obviously we would change that to 2. So just going over a couple of rules to simplify monomials. So let's take a look at an example. Let's multiply together the coefficients. So 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, and then times 3 over 8, so we'll multiply fractions, and we love fractions. And so if I simplify here, if I take an 8 out of 24, I'm left with, negative 3. So if I multiply straight across, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Now if I look at combining my a's, I have a to the 8th, a to the 3rd, and a to the 5th. That gives me a to the 16th. And then I also want to combine b to the 7th, b to the 2nd. Okay, that gives me b to the 9th. So my final answer would be negative 9, a to the 16th, b to the 9th. Let's simplify the following expressions. So on this first example, remember that 3 gets distributed to everything inside the parentheses. So the numerator, the denominator, and the x squared. So I have 3 cubed over 4 cubed, x to the 6th, and 3 cubed is 27, so this changes to 27. 4 cubed is 64, and x to the 6th goes right on the side. Okay, let's try another example. So we have a lot to simplify here. So first thing I would do is I would look at this 3 and distribute it to everything inside. And when we do that, we get 1 cubed over 2 cubed, a to the 6th, b to the 6th. And then over here, this other one, I'm going to simplify the 2's first. That changes to a 4, and then distribute the 4. So when I do that, I get negative 4, let's put this in parentheses here, negative 4 to the 4th, and b to the 4th. And now we want to simplify everything here. So 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, a to the 6th, b to the 6th, all times. Negative 4 to the 4th is 256, b to the 4th. And now we can combine 1/8 and 256. So 1/8 of 256 is 32. A to the 6th, and no other a's over there, gives me a to the 6th. And b to the 6th and b to the 4th give me b to the 10th. And I'll fix this right here so that it looks better. And it looks like a 6. And that would be my final answer. So again, just reviewing, multiplying, and simplifying monomials. Now we will look at dividing polynomials. So rule number 1 of the quotient of powers. To divide two powers with the same base, we need to subtract the exponents. So we will subtract. So let's look at an example here. I have a to the third and a to the third over a. That really means I have a to the third minus 1. So I really just have a to the second. What I could do is just cross out this a, take one away there, and change it to a 2. If I look at b, I have b to the fifth and b to the second, which gives me b to the third. So again, if I cross out 2 down in the denominator, I would take away 2 in the numerator, and I'd be left with b to the third. So my final answer here would be a squared b to the third. All right, let's take a look at a few examples here. So I have 32 over negative 8. So if I divide by the negative 8, I'm left with the negative 4 on top. So didn't necessarily talk about this on the last slide, but when we are dividing monomials, when we have coefficients, we just divide those as we would regularly of division. And then I have x here and x to the third. And so if I take one away, I'm left with 2. Whoops. 2 right there. For the y's, if I take 1 away down on the denominator, I'm left with 1 in the numerator. And if I take away z squared down below, I'm left with z to the third up top. So my final answer comes out to be negative 4 x to the second y z cubed, and that's my final answer. And occasionally I'll put a line through my z's so it doesn't look like a 2. So I'll do that right there. All right, the next example, if we look at simplifying here, again, if I take away k to the fifth, I'm left with k squared. Take away m cubed, I'm left with m to the seventh. And the variable p's both cancel out, so they are both gone, so I don't need to even write anything. So my final answer is k squared m to the seventh. All right, rule number 2, power of a quotient. We need to remember to distribute the exponent to everything inside the parentheses, including fractions. So let's take a look at an example. I'm going to distribute the 3 to everything inside the parentheses. When I do that, I get 4 cubed p to the 21st all over 7 cubed p to the third r to the 6th. And now when I simplify, 4 cubed is 64 over 7 cubed is 343. And then if I simplify my variable p, if I take 3 away, I'm left with 18. So p to the 18th. And then r to the 6th in the denominator. And I'm not able to simplify anything else with my fraction 64 over 343. So that would be my final answer. Okay, and if we take a look at one more here, I'm going to distribute the 2 to everything inside the parentheses. And when I do that, I get 6 squared r to the 10th, w to the 10th, 3 squared p to the 12th, excuse me, and r to the 6th. Now if I simplify further, 6 squared is 36 over 3 squared is 9. R to the 6th, I'll take away 6 down below and I'm left with 4 up top. And then I'm not able to simplify any of the other variables, but what I can do is I can simplify here. 36 divided by 9 is 4, so my final answer will be 4 r to the 10th, w to the 10th, all over p to the 12th. And then that would be my final answer. Last rule, rule number 3, is the zero exponent property. So any number to the 0 power equals 1. Any number to the 0 power equals 1. So this whole term right here, doesn't matter what's inside the parentheses, it's all to the 0 power. So it comes out to be 1. Good rule to remember because we will see this quite a bit. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye.